Good morning, everyone. How are you doing there today? It's Patricia Hayes here, ready for coffee time career chat. Got my coffee. I hope you all are doing well today. It is National Career Development Month, so we are going to focus our conversations in coffee time this month, the rest of this month, on those issues. So, kind of geared toward folks who are specifically working towards specific goals in career development and shifting careers, growing their careers, all of that. We often talk about those things in that context, but not always, right? Not specifically to, okay, I'm really trying to get to this next level. Sometimes it's just more broad in terms of just professional development in general. So, looking forward to having that conversation. If you're joining us for the very first time, my name is Patricia Hayes. I am an executive advisor, empowerment coach, and authentic networking strategist. And that means that I love to help people who are at a point in their lives and careers where they are ready to up level what they're doing, how they're approaching it, and need the support to make it happen. So I'm the brains behind the scenes that provides the support to people, particularly women who are ready to up level their careers, their business, and they want to make sure that they do so in alignment with their long-term goals and to leverage their professional relationships in a way that is purposeful and can be sustained over time. So, today, we focus on networking on Mondays. On Wednesdays, it's more general career chat. So, this week, we are talking about networking for career and professional growth, as I stated, in alignment with National Career Development Month. And so, I encourage you to be more deliberate in your development growth this month, if not ever, any other time, at least once a month, once a year, be very deliberate. And so this is a great time to do that. And the first thing I want to talk about when we're talking about networking for career and professional growth is first you have to recognize the fact that networking for career growth is different, right? Because remember, we don't talk about happy hour things or like how many business cards can we collect or how many names and emails we can collect. We talk about networking from a very authentic space where you are truly connecting with people, where you are getting to some level of depth. So if you go somewhere and you meet five people and you interact with them at a much greater level of depth than you would, let's say, if you talked to 15 and got cards, that I consider that a success because you have taken the time to really get to know those five people. And quite frankly, will probably be better off for you in the long run when it comes time to talking about your growth and your goals. Okay. So that said, when you are networking specifically for growth purposes, it does look a little different. It looks different because you're not just socializing, like you're not just being social, you're not just making nice, you're not just like, hey, let's get together because we're going to work on this project long term. So let's kind of get to know each other a little bit better. No, 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 no. This is about connecting with purpose. And guess what? Since that is what I am all about all the time, if you're following me, this is an easier route to go, right? Because you're already in that mindset of connecting with other people with a purpose, and that purpose being to figure out what it is that you can give to them as well as them supporting you. All right. There is a giving and receiving aspect to it as opposed to a giving and a taking. Remember, we don't do taking. Taking is very self-centered, it is out of alignment, and it will not return well. Okay. So I want to talk about that and making sure that you focus on your career growth when you're networking from that perspective. That this is not just social time. It doesn't mean you can't be social. Of course you can. And it probably will help you to get into that space. But you're really talking about I need to get to the meat of this so that I can move to the next level. So I want to be much more selective, and I'm getting ahead of myself, but a little more selective. You want to be more focused. And this means, of course, you got to do that thing I'm always talking about, engage in some reflection time. All right. So that you can figure out what that is that you're really trying to get to, so that you can utilize this time in a much more effective way for you. Okay. All right. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that you want to make sure that you align your connecting and networking with your immediate goals. All right. Now, for long term, it matters as well, but we're going to talk about immediate since this is National Career Development Month and we're talking about what probably things that people are needing to do as they make some shifts and some transitions in the near future. 3 months, 6 months, even a year. Beyond that, that is a slightly different approach where you know that you have some time to really fully develop relationships. And so it's maybe not as intense and you can have a longer term strategy, okay? When it's a relationship that you're building out for the long term. But when it's things that you're trying to achieve for immediate goals, for things that you're wanting to do, like shift in your career, transition from, from a 9 to 5 to being an entrepreneur, start focusing on a specific project, any of those things, then we want to say, okay, let's really dial in on how we're connecting and who we're connecting with so that we can achieve those immediate goals. So, this is one of those things that when I'm working with people one on one, this is a piece that we really do dive deep into about who is it that you need to know for the immediate future, like right now. Who are the people? Where are the places you need to be? Um, what are the things that you need to be doing so that you can increase your visibility and you can expand your circle, hopefully quickly, but balancing that much more with quality. Okay. Excuse me. So it's not just about doing it quickly, because when you start focusing on just making connections quickly, then guess what, you lose some of that quality piece, you lose some of that genuineness, and it starts to feel a little icky, and that's not what we're going for. So when I'm saying quickly, I'm always saying quickly with quality. So maybe it's really dialing in on 5 to 10 people and experiences over the course of 6 months, as opposed to going to every happy hour that you see or attending all the parties that you can. It is the holiday season is coming up. So that will be some people's way of saying, oh, I can do this really quick. Yeah, but what are you going to do to sustain that when the holidays are over, right? How are you going to sustain that? So you want to make sure that you are in alignment. Again, this gets to that reflection piece. This gets to that. What is it you're doing? What are you hoping to achieve? Where do you want to be by when? So that when you start attending, let's just talk, for example, these holiday events that are coming up. I mean, my goodness, I think mine is not a holiday event, but there's several events already going on this week, this weekend, that are prime opportunities for re-engaging with some people, right? So there's a fundraiser for one of the boards that I serve on. There is a baby shower, for a colleague that's coming up this weekend. There are lots of different things that are coming up. It's just that season and moving into the holiday season, where even in the midst of the pandemic that we are in at this point in time, people are feeling more comfortable about getting out and connecting. All right. Even if you are not, even if you are still saying, yeah, I'm not quite there for the big party scene, which I totally get, then easing into it. Maybe you show up for 30 minutes of the event and knowing that I'm out after a certain point, right? or maybe there's a virtual option and you attend the virtual option. Now, it's easy for people to say, well, I'm not going because I'm not comfortable being in that huge group, but I'm not going to attend virtually either because that's a waste of my time. You can't have it both ways and say that you want to grow. All right. So it's fine. Pick your position, stick with it, but then also know that there's going to be sacrifice one way or the other, right? It may mean that, okay, fine, you're not comfortable going in person. That is okay. That is fine. Stand with you on that. But then it's like, but there's a virtual option. So maybe I'm going to check in on the virtual option so that I can show my face, so that I can connect. Maybe I'm going to show up and go in for 30 minutes, connect with a few people, and then come back home and follow up with them. All right. This is all about being in alignment with who you are, where you are right now, and where you're trying to get to professionally, and then making sure that the actions that you take are are aligned, are in agreement with that. Okay. And it seems kind of repetitive, but it is. It's just like worth repeating. It's just worth repeating. What are you doing? Does it align with what you want to do? If it doesn't, then stop it. And that sounds like really, like parental. It's like, stop doing that. Well, yeah, stop doing that. If it doesn't, I won't say if it doesn't feel good, because it's okay for us to be uncomfortable, but it's not okay for us to be out of alignment, right? Because sometimes doing the thing that will grow us will make us feel uncomfortable, but it is still aligned with our long-term goals, okay? With our immediate goal, what it is to do professionally and as a career, okay? All right. The next thing is that you want to remember that as you plan ahead for growth, that you plan ahead for who you need to be in relationship with. Notice what I said. I didn't just talk about networking, just connecting with people, but who are you sincerely wanting and needing to be in relationship with? And why do we care about that? Well, we care about that because that initial connection could be good for that immediate piece and for saying, hey, this is great. Thanks so much for having that chit chat with me about this. And it's helping me to make some decisions as I move forward, right? That is a great connection to have. When you're doing networking effectively, that's its purpose, is for you to learn from people and others so that you can make an informed decision about what you're going to do next with whatever piece of information, whatever it is you're trying to do. But when it shifts into now talking about building that into a longer term relationship,